But with Web3 and decentralization, it's kind of the next wave that a lot of industry leaders need to be prepared for. It's really kind of pushing a huge shift on how people use the internet and taking it off of these big tech companies and really focusing on the individual user. So it's really exciting to kind of see this big shift and how that's really going to change the way we use content marketing or even just, day-to-day businesses and where our data is going every day.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
All right, welcome back for another episode of the Business Ninjas podcast. My name is Max Pittman. I'm here with Megan Van Holland. She is a marketing lead specialist at IT Outlet. Megan, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you again. And thanks for joining us today. And we're excited to have you.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on. It's really exciting to get on camera and to chat with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about yourself and how you got started in at IT Outlet and how you get started in this industry. And just give me a little background about yourself and let the listeners know who you are.
Yeah, so I've been professionally kind of all over the board for the last about 6 years or so. I've been in, the restaurant industry and hospitality, and then I switched over to a nonprofit for several years. And, I've always been super interested into technology. I've done little things in my free time, like I built my own desktop computer, dabbled in rebooting my Chromebook with a Linux software into some of the fun little nerdy things that you can do with a lot of that stuff. So when I was looking for a new career change, I wanted to really get into that technology in the IT industry because it's just something I've always really been interested in. So that's kind of how IT Outlet came to be part of my next adventure. And it's been super fun learning and being in the industry that kind of has interest in my outside personal life as well. But not professionally, I do love spending time with my family. I have a really giant dog, so we like to get outside a lot and just enjoy the sunshine and the outdoors when we can.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely relate to some family members building out their own computers. My brother, he's done that, and he's just amazed me with some of the things that he's been able to do. And I even know what a Raspberry is because of him. I don't even know what our listeners even know what that is, but look it up.
Yeah, I was looking into those too for some server type stuff. Yeah. My house and trying to come up with some fun things to make my house a little bit more techy as well.
For sure. Well, tell me a little bit about IT Outlet, and anything about the company that you can share would be really helpful.
Yeah, so IT Outlet's been around since 2006. They were under previous ownership from 2006 until about 2019. So 2019 is about when our current CEO, Kevin Huber, had acquired the business. He was actually a sales representative before he bought the business. So he was employed with IT Outlet for several years before that. And when the opportunity came up, he wanted to buy the business. And since then, we've grown, 10 million over the last 4 years. And he navigated through COVID and so many other things that just kind of popped up in those last 4 years. So he's built this business and grew it for the last 4. It's been really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the internet has changed a lot as well since 2006, right? And now we have Web 3.0, Web 3, or whatever you want to call it. And, we're kind of coming in this new era of the internet, right? How are you guys, thinking about, preparing for the next phase of the internet? Is that something that's a topic that's going on?
Yeah, so we've been looking into a lot of different kind of innovating solutions that aren't, totally ready for release at this time. But with Web3 and decentralization, it's kind of the next wave that a lot of industry leaders need to be prepared for. It's really kind of pushing a huge shift on how people use the internet and taking it off of these big tech companies and really focusing on the individual user. So it'd be more of you and I being able to govern and kind of put up our own protocols to be shareholders in the internet versus just consumers and participants. So it's really exciting to kind of see this big shift and how that's really going to change the way we use content marketing, or even just, day-to-day businesses and where our data is going every day.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I'm still kind of a novice here, but from what I understand, like when the internet first came out, it was pretty much just kind of one way. Like here's a website, right? And now where it's a platform, right? Now when I think about the website, like everyone has all these web platforms, and now at where we're going with the internet, it's this decentralized type of internet, and it's still like, even to me, it's confusing, and I don't necessarily get it. So like if you in the team are thinking about where the internet is going and how you guys are thinking about your business, is there specific solutions or things that you guys have to offer that are going to go along with this?
Yeah, so there's some new things kind of coming out that a lot of people are exploring. So it is more along that kind of decentralized, immutable backup recovery and data backup and recovery solutions. So it is providing an option for more archival cold storage for businesses. So more focusing on those industries that have a lot of data. So research facilities, more of that kind of science focus, or even financial institutions or hospitals and healthcare who do need to keep records on file for, X amount of years. That gets really expensive when you think about it in terms of data storage. So there's a lot of opportunities with Web3 and immutable backups and decentralization to continue to build data and have it be super secure, not able to be changed. So it is a reference in time in that state. So it's just really interesting how it's going to shape the way data is stored too. So something to consider for a lot of industries around these days.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of them, like healthcare. Like, is there a specific industry focus or niche that the company is focusing on targeting right now?
So for IT outlet, some of the industries that we focus on are education, healthcare, and finance. Those are our top 3 verticals. But for more of that kind of Web3 data storage, I think it is focusing more on the financial institutions and healthcare, just for how much data they need to store with HIPAA compliances and, all of those types of compliances that go in with those industries. It's important to have the cybersecurity and the protocols in place to make sure that they are protected from an incident. If an incident does happen, that they aren't down too long.
Yeah, and that's super important to make sure, like I care about my data and like where my data can be found and hopefully stored, right? It's always important, and like something that I wasn't thinking about 10 years ago, maybe even less than that, but it is something that I need to make sure like my stuff is not getting leaked out, because then it causes a whole bunch of other headaches that I don't have time to get into. But for the company, you're based in South Dakota. You guys are out there. Like, are you focused only on that geographic region, or is there a focus on targeting organizations and working with organizations that are outside of kind of the Midwest?
Yeah, so we are a nationwide organization. We do work with a lot of companies out in Pennsylvania, Arizona, kind of coast to coast, north, south, east, west. We do also do a little bit of global work as well. It's a little bit smaller of a network in that area for us right now, but nationwide, we're really good about getting out and meeting the need of everybody, no matter where they're at.
And how are you doing that right now? Like, how are you getting the brand to stand out? Like, is it through relationships, conferences? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we're super passionate about building relationships. So we do have something called our care philosophy. So that's creating authentic relationships every day. So our clients, we go above and beyond for them. We want to make sure that they can depend on us, they can trust us, and that if they have an issue, they can give us a call and they don't even have to worry about it anymore. We can find whatever solution, IT hardware, equipment that they need. We can help with a white glove service, with installation and support for those products. So we are a full suite of services in the IT and technology world to meet everybody's requirements, because it is so specific to each person. So we do have a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah, I saw on the website, there's a focus on cyber. It seems to be one of the core focuses of your suite of solutions. How have you guys navigated that space? And is that going to continue to be a focus moving forward as well?
Yeah, cybersecurity will always be a huge focus for us. So we do work with, over 50 vendors and 100, or we do partner with over 50 and can get over 100 vendors available for IT equipment and hardware. So we do find the best and innovative solutions to meet those cybersecurity needs to ensure that there is no downtime if you are compromised, and having that full suite of backup and data recovery as well. So we do offer like free cyber threat assessments, free network available or vulnerability. Let me say that one more time. Free network vulnerability tests to make sure that your infrastructure is protected and safe. And if there are potential pitfalls or things that could be alarming later, we can help companies address those head on before they do become a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So like from my like prior life, cyber was a huge deal because we were dealing with people's personal information as well. And so, we didn't focus on cyber, but we did have cybersecurities that were partnering up with us to make sure that we did keep everything safe and within our own servers and protecting the data of our customers. But there's just so many things that could go wrong, right?
Yes.
That companies need to prepare for and prevent. And in the global economic conditions, right? Like I think at the end of the day, like cyber should be top of mind for every company that that is storing customer data.
Yes.
So kind of switching gears just a little bit, like, what is the company thinking about from like a marketing perspective? Like, how are you going out and attacking the market? How has content played into that? I know I saw on your website, you guys do have some nice videos there, but I'd love to understand kind of like from a content marketing perspective, like, what are you guys thinking about doing for this next year?
Yeah, for this next year in terms of content marketing, we've never really had a strong focus for that type of marketing in terms of lead generation and building that kind of tone of who our business is, what our personality is, why you can trust us, because we can show proof through our content marketing that we know what we're talking about, and we are a dependable and trustworthy vendor. I think that's a huge part of content marketing, is building that trust through virtual means between a business and a business in our sense, because we are B2B, but even business to consumer. There's just so much out there. And if you aren't providing that kind of personalized journey along the way, you're going to be left in the dust. There's just too much information out there these days that you can't use that to your advantage in marketing and providing that valuable content in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. Trust is probably the biggest factor that keeps companies, companies and partnerships alive. If you don't have trust, the people are going to switch vendors, and there's, hundreds of thousands of other vendors that they could potentially be going with. So if there's trust, there's transparency, and there's, relationships and personal relationships that get derived from that, and the people trust you, like, business should obviously continue. So I can definitely stand behind trust as like one of those core principles that we think about as well. What's something that the business, wants to be celebrating like a year from now? Like what's going on for this year and into 2024?
For business wise, obviously, I'm sure everyone will say it, just continuing to grow the business and building our relationships with our clients and being kind of that industry leader for IT equipment and hardware, and support and services in addition to the hardware too. But from a marketing standpoint, really understanding our audiences in a new light that I don't think we've really thought about before. And continuing to market and bring that value and having those engaging and meaningful conversations in any capacity through our company. So I'm really hoping in the next year that we can be really thoughtful in a lot of our marketing in that way and continue to grow that, and also having fun. So it's not always so stoic and stern, just having the fun and showing our personality a little bit.
Yeah, of course, right? We're not all robots. We all have lives.
As much as they tell me I'm a robot, I'm not.
Yeah. We all have our personal lives and families to take care of, right? So there's definitely human elements into business too, for sure. Look, this has been great getting to know you, and hopefully this has been helpful for you to kind of tell and share your story as well, and the company story. Like, how can people find you? How can people get to reach you guys? Where are you going to be? If there's any conferences coming up, let the people know where you guys are going to be.
Yeah, so you can always go to our website at itoutlet.com to view any information or to get a hold of us. We are on basically every social media platform. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. We are on YouTube too. There's some videos out there you can check out of us. Otherwise, yeah, those are kind of our big ones.
Of course, yeah, got to be out there. That's great. You guys are already on those channels, and yeah, we appreciate you being on the Write For Me podcast here with her Business Ninjas, Megan. And it's been a pleasure getting to chat with you. And yeah, I appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks, Megan. And yeah, everyone can find Megan and the team at itoutlet.com. Thank you so much. Cheers.